You know something about video games this year? They've been better than ever. We have Sonic Generations coming up. We've got Sparking Zero. And we've got a whole bunch more games in the works till the end of this year. But I genuinely didn't think that Space Marine 2 would be the game to bring me back and to actually try and enjoy games once more. And here's my thoughts about that. The main reason why I genuinely think this year might be the best just for games in general is because companies are going back through to their roots. They're understanding what actually made a game enjoyable. And well, that's what it felt like with Space Marines. But I'll get into the main reasons why I don't think games have actually been as good as usual or as in past years. The main thing comes to a more personal thing, that's just gaming burnout. Just, you know, repetitively, hour upon hour, day upon day, just playing games. It really has burnt me out, and I think that is something that I have fixed now, which is where I think picking the right game to come back into is definitely important, and I think I chose right with Space Marines. And another topic upon that is actually the choice overload. Just so many options. So many easy to play, so many free downloadable games like Apex Legends, Valorant, League of Legends. They're just some of many of the biggest games in the world. And which one do I play if I only have a couple of hours? Perhaps one day I'll be playing Fortnite. The next day I'll be playing Apex. I will never know until that day comes. And I feel like that is something that definitely has plagued the market, where companies are just trying to force feed you games upon games, making them larger so you actually can't play other games, which is something that I think Call of Duty has actually basically enforced, having their games almost over 100 gigabytes. And I think that's some of the main reasons why most people aren't enjoying games as much. But with a clear mind and a clear head, I think Space Marines 2 is definitely a good game to look into. At the moment, it is primarily a single player game, as the multiplayer is sort of a bit wonky, which I will discredit at the end, as I'll be giving a little tally and a little mark about how good Space Marine actually is, just from a buyer's point of view. Now, my genuine reasoning why Space Marines 2 is the game that really reignited my passion for gaming. If it wasn't for this game, I probably wouldn't have bought many games this year. And it's sort of a double-edged sword, because I don't want to be spending as much money on games, but there's just so many new games coming out. The main one that I am expecting though, which I thought was going to reignite my gaming passion, was actually going to be Sparking Zero. But it seems like Space Marines 2 did beat that. Of course it's because of the dates, right? I still need to wait another month until Sparking comes out. But I got Space Marines 2 just thinking it was going to be a cool campaign that I can play with some of my mates. And granted, the campaign did work with other people. But I did play it primarily single player, which you'll be seeing some gameplay behind or whilst I'm talking. And the overall story, with no spoilers, it was pretty short-lived. It was, even on the second hardest difficulty, it took me around 8 or so hours, 8 to 9 hours to actually finish the whole campaign. Whilst it was a short campaign, it was definitely impactful. And the whole story of Warhammer mixing in with the Ultramarines and the Space Marines all together, I think definitely gave it a unique twist. But I definitely did wish that the story was further developed, and instead of just the visuals, it was put further into the actual story. Now, what you all came here to actually watch, why Space Marines is actually the game that restored my faith to other games. The main point is, Space Marines 2 did account for players picking and prying into their game. Not as much as the code, but as in within the game. It gives you little nitpicks, it gives you little rewards, and I know that's done a lot, but I just feel like the way that they did this with little recordings, little tapes, so to speak, it felt more Warhammer-y, as in you would have to actually delve deep, read lore, read books, ensure that you're actually keeping up to date to the lore of Warhammer. I guess since I have played Warhammer myself, you know, I mean, I'm a Tau main, alright guys, so don't fight me please, but I guess it was something unique where you actually care about the characters more, like with Titus, and how people would be more likely to play the first game to properly understand what happened to Titus and why he got, spoiler, demoted basically, and had to fight in the grunts of war even though he's served for countless of hundreds of years. I think it was 400 if I'm not mistaken. That is sort of the main reason why I did enjoy Space Marine 2. It was just the whole gameplay aspect. It was a little bit repetitive throughout the middle, but it kept me going through. I woke up wanting to play the game again, you know, pacing myself so I don't finish the game in one sitting, which I usually try to do because I just want to finish the whole story and get over and done with. But this game, I wanted to really understand and try and push myself in terms of combat and also understanding each character, putting myself out there and putting myself within the character's mind. And I think this game does that very well. Alright, so I'm going to keep this quick, simple and short. So, out of 10, I'll be giving Space Marine 2 a 8 out of 10. I feel like just because the multiplayer hasn't been fully fledged out, the story is pretty short, I think those are definitely the reasons why it cannot be higher. Until that is fixed up, which I mean the multiplayer is fixed up, then it perhaps could go to a 9, but I think that would be the maximum. I know it is the game that did turn me around basically to playing other games, but that can only give it so much within the terms of its own game. So, if you guys haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, make sure to comment down what your rating is for the game, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.